And thus, if there is no space, there cannot be a proper process of nourishment as well as taking material or the blood which comes out at the time of the periods, it won't come, and that could be and that leads to a clot formation. So the thing is, there should be a physiological movement similar to the intestinal movement. If your intestinal movement is slow, then that leads to the constipation. If your uterine movement is slow, that leads to the hindrance to the at the time of the periods, and that leads to the abdominal cramps and the pain, and then in turn that get impact on your brain. Means you get into the headache or some uneasiness. Okay, and practically those days, the earlier like your grandma were taking complete rest for these 3 days. See, I consider your pain could be due to some uterine problem. That's why I explained this. Okay, the another asana is called as Supta Virasana. Keeping feet apart. So you can watch how I keep my feet apart, and I sit in between. And this is again one more asana. A child do sit. Is it not interesting? Who told the child to sit like this? Why the child sits like this? If you ask the child to sit on the bed, a child won't throw the legs from the bed. A child wants to fold the legs, and a small child wants to sit like this, isn't it? Now, is it not how the body language they have for their physiological movements? So, if the child is sitting like this, definitely that indicates that is how the body needs. You know that children, they are very close to the body. They are very sensitive towards the body. Body says something to them. You know, the body is being supplied by the nerves. And the nerves, what is the job of nerves? Nerves, they send the message from the brain to the target area, like your cell, and from the cell message go to the brain. Then these two traffic, afferent nerves and the efferent nerves, these traffics are it's like how in our house the electricity comes and you are in the light, is how the nerves all the time they are sending the message, so that all the work is being done at each and every place in our body properly. So then because of a very high influence of our brain, later part I'm telling you, in our when you go to the schools, colleges, that will reduces the work of the brain to your body cells, and that leads to the slowly. If your uterus was working for 100%, it reduces by 15%, 20%, and that hindrance of a message going from brain to the uterine area, from uterine to the brain, and thus you slowly start getting symptoms, and then it worsens. Okay, let me come back to this one. A child sit like this because a child could be getting good for sitting like this, relaxing the legs, or good for even for motion and all. This is good. Okay, now as the child is very close to the body language, like, okay, let me say like this now, when you are going to, a child goes to the LKG, upper KG, you know the child is sitting for about 30-40 minutes, and the moment the class over, the child runs out. That you just watch how the children run away from this out of the room, and then they start playing and playing and playing all the time, playing. That indicates that body needs that kind of movement, which you people, adolescent children have lost. There should be believe me, adolescent children should play. Then if there is no kind of activities of playing like how the LKG students they play after the class. Then you might be sitting nowadays. Even the classes are going for 3 hours or 4 hours class non-stop, and that will going to influence on your body, on your brain, on your mind. That's why I insist you everybody that looking into the children, you need the body movements. Then I insist you please do yoga both in the morning and evening. Coming back to this, called as Supta Virasana, you can tie the belt again so that your legs won't go outside. But I'm not asking you to tighten the belt totally. You can keep your knees slightly apart. I kept the knees slightly apart, and again the similar way of doing your previous pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. I keep extending my lower back. You can watch how my lower back is resting on the bolster, as if I am taking a support of a curvature of the bolster. You know there is a curvature at my lower back, and I am trying to rest the curvature of my back onto the curvature of the bolster to get a complete support. Again, I have a few explanations on you when you start looking into this pose. Then you say that I can't sit down, sir, because of my knee pain or the back pain. There are two things which you can add. In fact, in this age, you have to sit. And later part, like 30s or the 40s, I know there will be a changes in your knees. Some changes happen in the knees. And that is again because of we never sit down to provide a flexion to the knees. Means we never sit down like this. If the movements are retained even in 30s and 40s, then you won't get any knee pain in this asana. Now this blanket I am using, some of you don't know to bend your knees since maybe 15 years or 10 years, then you say that no, I can't sit, I have a pain, even at the age of your 20s. Then see, I'm using the blanket to the knee behind so that as I sit, I can experience some opening inside the knee joint. Both the bones, they get separated and you won't get the pains. And this, now I'm remembering the parents. Yes, this is again so good asana for their knee problem, for their varicose problems. Okay, now one more problem could be that I can't sit down like what I am sitting. Then what I do, I take one more blanket so that I reduces the pressure on my knee. There is no more flexion. And now again the problem is, how can I go back? Then take one more posture. Going back initiates the relaxation. Yeah. And okay, then I will give you the freedom for you to use whatever you want to use on this. When you start going back, you say that no, I can't go beyond this. Then you please come up, arrange all these two blankets, and then go back with whatever the height you have taken. For example, one blanket here, one bolster here. And for the head, you have to increase the height. Yeah, right now, my head is lower than the chest. But if I have something, now I have taken a book support here. Then you can take the support of a blanket. Okay, I'm going back to bring a proper support to my head. This is one more asana. It is the same explanation that this asana can be done at the time of the periods. Rather, I should say that you should do at the time of the periods. But again, the question could be, sir, I can't do this pose. I never fold my knees like this. I never sit down. Because this is how Guruji has evolved all these arrangements. But believe me, you will one day get into this pose and get into a nice relaxation. These two asanas, Supta Baddha Konasana, Supta Virasana, are so good to relax. I'm telling you, in just 5 to 10 minutes, but the question is again, can you able to relax in this pose? This Supta Virasana is a little difficult than the Supta Baddha Konasana. But I hope Supta Baddha Konasana, basically for you girls can so easily do and enjoy the pose. And this also, many of you girls can do. But for the elders, yes, you have to, one is, you have to perform the asanas, what I told before, like your back leg extension poses to release the muscles, back leg extension poses to release the muscles, and after releasing the muscles, when you sit in Virasana, you won't get pains. Okay, and this is the asana in periods or gas acidity. Believe me, after having the food, a rest, maybe half an hour, and then if you perform this one. And one more thing, sitting in Virasana, just even after having the food is also good. But my question is, sitting in Virasana, is it comfortable for you? If it is comfortable sitting in Virasana, then it is well and good. If you are not comfortable, as I said earlier, you have to perform number of asanas, and then your legs, they become soft to sit in Virasana comfortably. And once you achieve the comfortable Virasana, you can do even after having food. And then if you ask me how it helps, you know the amount of the blood, about 1.5 to 2 liters of blood in the legs. If you habituate sitting like this, the blood comes up into the stomach. Means the amount of the blood staying in the stomach, in the pelvic area, would be more, and that helps to intensify the digestion, and thus you can come out of that heaviness, drowsiness after having the food. Okay, then as I told you, these two things are good. A very beginner, okay, I can say like for the parents, those are very new to you and everything, they feel difficult. If you sit like this, they say it's a lot of pain and I can't sit. Or if you sit in Virasana, if sitting in Virasana is so difficult for them, then this one, just a support of blanket, knees together, feet apart. Okay, if you observe me, my feet, they are separated. Okay, knees resting on each other. By this rotation, that would help you to give a support to the pelvic bones, to the abdominal area. Okay, this pelvic area. All the time you can see like how you walk around. The pelvic area is out and the abdominal area comes out. In this pose, knees in and feet out, a thigh rotation action helps to turn the pelvic bones slightly inside to give a support to the abdominal organs, like how I am giving my hands. And thus the abdominal area goes down, the central area goes down, even the side area goes down. In the sense, the process of relaxation in the abdomen starts. And believe me, many of you, because of obesity or a lifestyle, there would be a big gap. You know, there would be a big gap here. Look at my hand from that side I'm taking, there would be a big gap. If there is a big gap, you can't rest your abdominal muscles, and then you can't descend the area down. In the sense, taking the abdomen going towards the back it becomes so difficult. Finally, it is so difficult to rest the uterus, the intestine, all the tissues in our stomach. And in this case, you can watch me now. Multiple things are happening. The back is concave, getting extended because the buttocks down and the round bolster is supporting. Because of bolster, which is much convex, providing a nice support to the lower back, is getting extended. And plus, as I told you, knees together, thighs turning in, gives you a nice descending down sensation. And as I told you earlier, the upper part is being supported, just getting supported, neck got supported, head is also relaxing as there will be a total support to the back of the head. And always in these poses, check once, twice, your neck has to extend. You can hold once the fingers on your skull and extend it, keep it down. An extension of the neck not only helps to descend the forehead, skin down, eyes down, cheeks down, it goes even down up to the throat to descend it deeper to its base or the back of the neck. Is how it helps to get into the proper shavasana, wherein forehead skin should be down, eyelids should be down, cheeks, the muscles of the cheek should be down, upper lip should be down, resting onto the lower lip, even tongue also down to rest on the lower palate. And finally, once the throat getting relaxed, then that would again intensify the relaxation. Okay, this you understood. And another way is simply fold the legs like this. And many of you have a disturbed back. And as I told you, a disturbed back, a structural deformity at your back, you may get some backache and then again a stomach can't rest. Then, okay, you can take a support of a bolster. Now I'm giving a bolster to this side or a blanket according to your flexibility. If your flexibility is good, then take just a blanket. If your flexibility is not good, then you can see from this side how I'm using the bolster. More support, so that I won't disturb the tissues in the stomach. They should relax. And those who are very young, there won't be any restricted joints, and this is so simple, and they can relax. And this asana is called as Supta Swastikasana. Yes, and a very simple forward bending pose is using a chair. See, I know when you sit down, your body goes back. That's why I'm insisting you to sit higher, wherein your buttocks they come up, knees go down. This will facilitate to throw your back straight forward. The height of the bolster facilitates you keeping your back straight and bending forward. Unlike when you sit down, then already your back is much concave from behind. The moment you sit and bend forward, your concave back cannot be straightened up like my back. Your concave from behind cannot be straightened up like me, as I am a practitioner. Forward bending asanas I do. If you sit like this, there won't be any chance of compression in the stomach. As the buttocks are higher, the structure of the spine remains as it is. And then your abdomen is getting relaxed. Okay, this is the chair wherein keep your head onto the posture. Yes, see now, similar explanations. Forehead is being pressed on the posture. You remember our grandmom was to sit besides us when we were very small. Child coming from the school and trying to sleep. I mean, after having a nice play and food, and we were going into we are trying to sleep and we couldn't sleep, and the grandma was to come and keep the hand on the head and get kind of a nice massage on the head. The moment the grandma's hand comes onto the head, onto the forehead, onto the temples, suddenly you get into the sleep. That indicates that a pressure on the skull, on the sides, the temples, and the pressure on the forehead, like this, initiates the process of relaxation. Because of our highly activated senses when we are exposed into the world, coming back to home, and you want to relax but you can't relax. It is similar to a hot pan. You have done some dish, a nice dish, and then you know that for how long the pan remains hot. For maybe half an hour or 40 minutes, 45 minutes, the pan remains hot. So our body is like, once it is all the time, a brain, once it is all the time engaged for hours and hours, coming back and giving the rest to the body, to the brain, to the senses is not possible suddenly. But yoga initiates that cooling effect. It would work part by part. It helps to reduce the effect of body. I can say like this, the whole system has become hot because of body hot, muscles hot, neck, senses, eyes, brain hot. Now asanas, they will help to work on all the individual areas. A back hot, in the sense this is the way we have to extend the back. As the lower back extends, you can reduce the heating process of a back. Or simple language, your back relaxes, your head relaxes, your eyes relaxes. In the relax each and every part. When you already initiated, you processed the cooling process. You processed the cooling on each and every part, and thus a time period of cooling, maybe 1 2 hours, it slowly reduces. And believe me, the science says, and it has been proven, nowadays, even though we are in the sleep, our activities in the brain, they are not stopping. As your thought processes are so strong, even though your body is in the sleep, but your mind is not quiet, thus few activities are still triggering in your brain, giving a hindrance to your sleep. The yoga helps to calm down your body, your muscles, your spine, your neck, and then your heart, your lungs, and then your brain, your eyes, your tongue, your throat, your temples. The overall calming process starts when you start practicing in the evening. Okay, the final the suggestion what I can give you is practice every day, morning and evening. Morning, it is to start with a good day. Evening, like, okay, I have used my body, my senses, my brain, and now this is the high time to cool them and to calm down. It is similar to like what we is how we have to practice so that we can calm down, we can rest all these parts to way of resting the forehead. Now the another way, once you get into the yoga practice, a deep yoga practice, then this is called as Janusasana, one leg bending, one leg straight, keeping the head down. There is another asana called as one leg straight, one leg in the Padmasana, and the name of the asana is Ardha Baddha Padma Paschimottanasana. And again, you can take a support to the knee and as well as your this knee, so that there cannot be overextension in the knee. And here you can't keep it, you need not to keep very low, because finally the intention is a measurable stretch and a more time staying here, a more deeper inhalations, exhalations, more period of staying on this bolster, forehead on the bolster and getting massaged. Understood? And this is called as Ardha Baddha Padma Paschimottanasana. Okay, and this is another asana called as Trayanga Mukhaika Pada Paschimottanasana. Then again the supports according to your body. Yeah, you can rest it down, or if you want some support, it's better if you keep the goes down. Now these are all the asanas. They are so important for the ladies, I'm telling you. Basically, in Pilates, this is called as Paschimottanasana. You can see how comfortably I am staying. Yes, it is so nice relaxation. But again, the question could be, how can I stay for a long time? You do get the complaint of, okay, my knees are being stretched, my back is getting stretched, a lot of pain here, a lot of pain here. The answer is yes. Then when you are good, when you are healthy, at least you should be fit for those days. And those days you have to practice all the asanas I said before, so that your muscles get activated, your body becomes ready, you get the proper posture. Now this is the posture called as of pain here. Because already your muscles are released here, you practiced in those days other than the periods. Understood? And this is Upavishta Konasana. Okay, Upavishta Konasana. And it will be great if you can rest your forehead once on this side. You can see how I'm staying, and I can experience what a nice opening on this side. Yeah, and then when I go on this side, a nice opening. Yes, on this side. You can see the common thing here in this class. All the time I am taking a support to my head, sometimes to the back of the head and sometimes to the forehead. So resting the forehead or the back of the head would help you to continue the relaxation which is necessary for you girls or ladies when you are sick. And that sickness could be a periods or some uneasiness in the stomach or some fever, or here and there, ladies do have some hormonal changes. Basically, the menopause now, I would like to say, the parents, the mothers, they say that I'm all the time heavy in the head, uneasiness, and now I'm depressed, and I have a mood changing. And the answer is these asanas. And resting the forehead on the back of the head. The back of the head, you remember Supta Baddhakonasana, Supta Virasana, Supta Swastikasana. And the forehead, I explained you, simply holding the legs and keeping the head onto the bolster. That is Swastikasana and forward bending, resting the forehead on the bolster. And then I told you Janu Sirsasana, wherein one leg is straight, one leg is bent, and keeping the head onto the bolster. This is Janu Sirsasana. And I said Ardha Baddha Padma Paschimuttanasana, Pranga Mukhaita Pada Paschimuttanasana, and then this is Paschimuttanasana. In all these asanas, a height has to be given to the buttocks to lift them up so that your back remains straight, there won't be any compression, and you should have some sufficient height like what I have taken, a sufficient height so that there won't be any much compression in the stomach, and you can rest your head and you can stay for some long time. Long time staying and having a deeper inhalations, exhalations would help to relax your forehead, relax your brain, and slowly it will descend down to work on your hormonal level. It works on the throat, it works on the uterus, it works on the whole hormonal system right from the brain up to the uterus. Okay, and then this is the class I have taken considering somebody's stomach pain, Vaishnavi's stomach pain, and then I decided that